What's going on, guys? The TNT Muffin here, and today I'm going to be doing another tier list video. It's been a bit since I've done one of these, and news has been pretty dry, so we're going to be doing a tier list today. I asked if you wanted one on Youtooz plushies or Youtooz figures, and you guys chose figure. So I have got a list of all of the Youtooz figures so far here, the FNaF ones at least, and we're going to be ranking them. I've got them in order, I believe, of how they release. Some stuff might be in the wrong spot, but that doesn't really make a difference. So let's just start off with the first figure, who is Freddy. I think Freddy is a decent figure. I mean, there's not too much to say about him. It's just Freddy. Not anything too awesome, not anything too bad, but not any mistakes, so I'll just put in A tier. Foxy, I'd say, could also go into A tier. The only thing is, like, maybe they could have had some endoskeleton bits in his chest or painted some of his teeth golden, which they didn't do, so maybe I will actually move him down to B. I think B tier might be better for FNaF 1 characters. Chica's the same, you know, just a basic character. She's got all the details, she's got her cupcake. I think she looks pretty good. Now, B might look bad, because B is sort of low, but, you know, it's in the middle. I think B tier stuff will be stuff that's like, alright, it's not bad, it's not that good, but it's decent. There's not anything too positive or negative I can say about it, so I'm just gonna put it in the middle there. But we do have Bonnie here, and Bonnie I actually kind of want to put in the C tier, because it has a couple things wrong about it, in my opinion. First of all, the ears are very small. I don't know why they gave Bonnie such tiny ears. Second of all, the face shape seems a little bit wrong to me. I feel like the cheeks might be a little bit too big. And then the biggest thing for me is that they gave him freckles. Bonnie doesn't have freckles, so that's a mistake, which, you know, it's minimal stuff. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's alright. It's not bad. So I'm gonna put it in C tier, just a little bit below average. And that does round out the FNaF 1 wave of figures, so now we're moving on to Security Breach, starting off with Glam Rock Freddy. I think this figure is pretty good. He's got a nice pose just with his arm up in the air, he's singing, and he's got all of the good details on him. He's got pretty much every detail I can think of for Glam Rock Freddy, so I think he deserves to go into the A tier. Same goes for Glam Rock Chica. I'm gonna put Glam Rock Chica into the A tier. It's a good figure, it's got some pretty good detailing on it, and there's not really any mistakes that I can see. I do really like the pose, and it's got a huge guitar, which looks pretty cool, so I do think it does deserve to go into the A tier. One that I am very confident about putting in A tier, though, is the Roxanne Wolf figure. This one's got a bunch of detailing on it. I think it's definitely the best of the first wave of Security Breach characters. Bunch of detailing on it. It's in a pretty cool pose. It's got the keytar. Almost all of the detail is actually like popping out. It's a, you know, a separate piece of plastic or whatever. It's not just painted on. And I think that's really cool. Now, one that does have a bit of an issue for the Security Breach category is the Montgomery Gator figure. Because although similar to Roxy, this figure has a bunch of detail. It's in a cool pose. It's got a bunch of really cool stuff on it. It unfortunately is also missing some details. And the details it's missing are pretty huge. You know, it's missing pants. Pretty big thing there. We don't want a naked Montgomery Gator figure. It doesn't have the lightning bolt on its face, which for some reason Youtooz has been missing out on with their merch. And also it doesn't have any eyebrows, which makes him look a little bit strange. So although I do think the figure looks really cool, it's missing a lot of details, and I think it deserves to go down a bit. And then the last one in this first Security Breach wave is the Vanny figure, which was a part of the collector's edition for Security Breach, and I think this figure looks pretty good. I'm gonna put it into A tier. It's got a bunch of detailing on it, you know, with all the different patches to Vanny's outfit. It's got all of the stitching on there as well, which I think is nice, popping out bits. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good figure. I can't really think of anything that would have improved it, so I'm gonna put it into A tier. Now, moving on, we've got this weird wave of, I guess, I don't know, big guys. Not exactly sure what you'd call this wave. Maybe the Fredbear's Family Diner wave or something like that. But first of all, we've got Springtrap, which I think definitely deserves to go in A tier. This is probably one of the best Springtrap figures we have so far. He's got a pretty cool pose, reaching his arm out, just like the FNaF AR loading screen. He's got a bunch of detailing, withering on him, wires. I think he's a pretty cool figure. Next one is Golden Freddy, which I'm not a fan of. I honestly kind of want to put this one down to C tier. You know, it's got a good pose. He's laying or sitting on the ground like Golden Freddy is in the games, but the figure itself isn't that cool. It is just a recolor of Freddy, which Golden Freddy is in the game, but I don't know, it just doesn't speak to me. And then he's also got a little bit of withering on his leg, which Golden Freddy doesn't have. I understand Golden Freddy is kind of supposed to be an old suit, so it makes sense for him to have withering, but I'm not sure exactly why they did that. I also feel like he's a little bit too bright of a yellow. You know, if you look at this image here, he looks good. He's a nice, maybe mustard color, but the figure in person is a very bright yellow, which, you know, it's not too bad to have it like that, but I do think they could have gone for a little bit of a better color. Next up, we've got the 8-bit purple guy, or the purple guy sprite. This figure I really like. I'm definitely putting this one into the A tier. It's a very unique figure. You know, him being an 8-bit version of Purple Guy. He's actually all boxy and stuff. Even his eyes are actually made of little squares, which is really cool. I think it's overall a pretty solid figure. You know, maybe they could have had little white spots on his eyes to look more like the sprite in game. But either way, I think it's a really cool figure. And then there's also this other version of Purple Guy, which is like this human purple guy, and then he's got half of his face, which has an 8-bit sprite of Purple Guy. This figure is very strange. You know, I get what they were going for, because they had this 8-bit purple guy. Maybe they wanted to make one more in the Youtooz style, so they made this human character. I think the pose is kind of strange. You know, he's got a hand reaching out with one behind his back, which doesn't sound bad. You know, maybe he's like saying, hey, come here, but he wants to hide that he's holding a knife. But he's not holding a knife. He just has his hand behind his back like this, which is really weird. I don't know why they did that instead of just giving him a knife or something. Not sure what they were going for here, but it's not the best figure. I think I'm gonna move it down to D tier. Maybe it could go to C tier, but I think this is probably the worst FNaF figure we've gotten, so I am going to put it into D tier. Next up is Gold Chrome Freddy, a very interesting figure. It was available for only 24 hours, which I think is the first time we've ever gotten that with FNaF merch. It is just the Freddy figure, but with a gold coating onto it. So nothing too interesting there. It is just a recolor. You know, maybe you could call this the golden statue from Ultimate Custom Night, and that, you know, boosts it up a little bit for me. Makes it a bit cooler. I don't think it's the best thing. It is just a recolor. I think I'm gonna put it down to C tier. And then there's the Fanverse wave, which aren't technically Five Nights at Freddy's characters, but they are, you know, characters from official Five Nights at Freddy's games. And they are on the FNaF page of the Youtooz website, so I am going to include them on this list. First up, we've got Candy, which I think is a really good figure. It looks just like Candy in the games. He's got an interesting pose with his arms out, which I don't exactly understand, but, you know, it works, and I think he looks pretty good. I think he definitely deserves the A tier, along with Popgo's. Same thing, it's just a really cool figure. He is very accurate to the Popgo's Evergreen model. I think he looks great. He's got all the details, and he's got a cool little pose there. And then there is Ignited Freddy. This one's a bit interesting. I don't know exactly how to rank this one. I guess I'll put it to A tier. It does have a crazy amount of detailing. You know, he's got all this withering, which I expected to be just painted on, but all of it is actually a little divot. Like, it does actually go in a little bit, so it is actually, you know, pretty good detailing on him. And as far as I know, it's pretty accurate to the Ignited Freddy model we saw originally. I don't know if it's accurate to the new one, but that one we saw before looks just like this. So I think they did a good job with it. I think the Fanverse wave was great, and I think they all deserve to go into A tier. Now, we've got an interesting one here, which is the security guard or night guard version of the Dako figure. This one seems like a bit of a weird thing to have on this FNaF list, especially since I have no other YouTubers here. But that's how it is on the Youtooz website. If you go to the FNaF page, they've got Night Guard Dako and none of the other FNaF YouTuber figures, which is weird. I don't know why it's like that, but I'm gonna make this tier list like how the website has it. So the Night Guard Doggo, I think it's an alright figure. I don't think it looks that much like Doggo, because that's not really what Doggo's hair looks like. He has a lot shorter of hair, but, you know, it looks pretty good. I like that he's got that little Freddy head to be the mask from FNaF 2. I'll put it in B tier. I can't really rate it on accuracy or anything like that, because it is kind of an original character, I guess. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I guess I'll put it in B tier. I don't think it deserves to go into C tier because there's not really anything wrong with it, so I think it's good. Now we've got the second wave of Security Breach figures, starting off with Burnt Trap, which I think is a really good figure. I'm gonna put it into A tier. He's got a huge amount of detailing on him, a bunch of withering, he's got wires poking out, he's got, you know, these little weird skeleton fingers, he's got the teeth. I think he has a really cool design. It's a very accurate piece of Burnt Trap merch. Actually, the only piece of Burnt Trap merch we have, and I think they did a good job with it. Next up, there is the Hide and Seek Vanny. Weird figure for them to make. I don't even really know what it's supposed to be. I don't know where in Security Breach we had Vanny that was red and black. You know, the box has it, like, when you're inside Glamrock Freddy, I believe, and see her running. I guess that's what it's supposed to be. It's just a recolor of Vanny in a different pose. Nothing interesting about it, so I'm gonna put that in C tier. Then we've got a really good figure, which is the Daycare Attendant. I'm actually gonna put this in S tier. Our first S tier of the day. I think this is a really good figure because it's almost like you're getting two. They made not only the sun, but also the moon. If you flip it around, they've got them back to back, which I think is pretty cool. And both figures, or I guess it's just one figure, but both of the characters on the figure look really good. They've got a bunch of detailing on them. They're very accurate. I don't really have anything to say bad about this figure. I think they did a really good job. Now, going from a very high, definitely the best Security Breach figure, so far the best FNaF figure on the list, let's go down to something that doesn't make me too happy, which is the Wet Floor Sign figure. Now, the figure itself isn't the worst thing in the world. You know, it's the Wet Floor Sign. He's got all the detailing he really needs. He looks like the Wet Floor Sign in-game, but it's not that good of a figure. He's very plain to me, you know. He's got the details, but the details aren't done the best. You know, he's got that caution wet floor, which is actually just painted on. I feel like that would have been better if they had it popping out a little bit, like they did for the detailing on a lot of other figures. And I'm pretty sure that they told us it was gonna spin around, like have a base that spins, so you can like turn him around like he is in the game, you know, he spins around. They didn't do that, so they lied to us. He's also kind of tiny. Like, if you compare him to another figure, he's really small. He's very basic for, you know, a $30 figure, so I'm gonna put him down to C tier. Now we've got a whole wave of recolors. Basically, it's the flocked wave of figures. Now this one I'm gonna rank as just a wave. I'm gonna put them all down to D tier. It's just exactly the same as the original wave of FNaF 1 figures, except they're flocked. Nothing interesting at all, they're just recolors. You know, the other recolors I put into the C tier. These ones I'm gonna put below that because they're $5 more. So it's $35 per figure plus, you know, the $5 shipping. So $40 per figure, not worth it in my opinion. Then we've got this, which I don't even know if you would count this as a figure. It's the little phone holder Freddy figure, which I think is pretty cool, honestly. It's basically just a Freddy figure, but he's sitting down on the floor. There's a little broken piece of wall behind him, and he just sits back with his arms like this so you can put something in his hand. I think it's honestly a pretty good figure. It's, I believe, a little bit more expensive than a normal figure, which isn't fun, but it makes sense since he has some type of, you know, ability, I guess. My only issue with this figure is that they did a giveaway on Twitter where you had to make a little edit of him, and I didn't win it, and I really liked my edit, so that makes me sad and makes me not want to put it high. But it is honestly really cool. I almost want to put it to S tier. I am actually going to put it to S tier. I think this is an S tier figure. I think it's cool. It's got a really cool base. It's unique being able to pose it. I think they did a great job with it. And now we've got another wave of figures I think I'm going to rank as a group, which is the Haunted wave of figures. So what this wave is they just took the FNaF 1 characters, put them in different poses, and then had little crying children coming out of them. I think they're pretty cool. I think the poses are pretty nice. I think this Golden Freddy figure is an improvement from the last one. I think most of these, maybe even all of them, are improvement of their original figures, but they are just recolors. They're not recolors, but they're just the old figures a little bit different. So that's not the coolest thing in the world, but they're pretty good, so I'll just put them in B tier, I guess. You know what? Now that we're talking about these guys, I am kind of realizing that the flocked figures I do also kind of like more than the original figures. So, you know, maybe I will put them into the B tier, because I think it's kind of the same thing, where I do like them more than the originals, but they are just recolors of the originals, so that kind of brings it down for me. And they're also more expensive than the originals, which isn't fun either. So I guess I'll put them into the B tier. I kind of want them in C just because they're more expensive. Yeah. I'll put them in C. I do think they're better than the normal figures, but they're $5 more, which I don't like. Now we're on to the Ruin wave, which I think is a great wave of figures. There's Ruin Roxy. It's got a bunch of detailing on it. I think it looks just like Ruin Roxy in the game. I haven't gotten this figure in person because I don't think they've shipped out yet, but I think it does look good, and from what I've seen, I think it deserves A tier. There's also Ruin Monty, which I think looks really good as well. My issue with it, though, is same as the issue with the Wet Floor sign, which is that it's a very small figure. Since it is Ruin Monty, he doesn't have the bottom half of his body. It's just a head with arms, maybe a little bit of the torso, and then just this weird, like, snake tail. It's not terrible. I do really like how the figure looks, but it's very small. I don't think it's really worth $30. I think it would have been really cool if they did more with it. Like, if they had made it on top of something like they're doing with the Ruin Glamrock Chica, I think that could have been a lot better. Put it to A, maybe even S. I'll put it to B. I do think it's good. I just wish they had done more with it. And then we've got the Eclipse figure, which I think is really cool. I'm definitely going to put this one into A tier. Like the other Ruin figures, it's got a bunch of detailing on it. I think it looks really good. I think they did a great job with it, and they also put him onto a nice little platform there on the floor, which I think is nice. I really like when figures have cool bases. I think that's pretty cool to have, and I think it definitely deserves A tier. Then we've got the Mimic figure, which I think is also going to go into the A tier, our first piece of Mimic merch, and it looks great. I think it's a really sweet figure. It's got so much detailing on it. It's really accurate to the Mimic in game. I do really like this figure. Next up, we've got Mexies, which I think is safe to say our next S-tier figure. Like the other Ruin figures, it's got a bunch of detailing. I think it looks really good. It's very accurate to Mexies, and I think it has a really cool base as well. You know, since this character doesn't have legs or anything, they decided to have it coming out of a bunch of pixels, which looks really sick. I think this figure's pretty perfect. Probably the best FNaF figure we've gotten so far from Youtooz. You know, maybe the daycare attendant's better because it's two figures in one, but I really like this figure. 100% deserves S tier. Now we've got an interesting one. I'm not exactly sure what to do with this, which is Shadow Mangle. I think it's really cool. It's got a bunch of cool detailing. You know, it's got all the different limbs and everything. My issue with it, though, is that it's a recolor of Mangle. I don't know if you'd call this figure a recolor, because it's technically not a recolor yet. We haven't gotten a normal Mangle figure, so this isn't a recolor. It's just weird, I guess. It's so strange to release Shadow Mangle before normal Mangle. I think if this was normal Mangle, you know, painted to be Mangle, it would be S for sure. But I just can't put this in S. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's also kind of wrong, because Shadow Mangle, I believe, should be just completely black, except, you know, the teeth, the endo head, you know. But this has got, like, weird purple stuff, which it's not right. It also has two glowing eyes. I believe Shadow Mangle should only have one eye that's colored, and the other one should still be black, so it shouldn't be like that. But it's not bad. I do really like the figure. It's just, I don't know why they're doing this. Next up is Glitch Trap, which I think is a really good figure. I'm gonna put it into A tier next to the Mimic. These might be the same character. I think it looks good. He's got a lot of good detailing on him. He's got a cool pose. He's got the stitching on him. He's actually got some detail on his vest with the stars. I think it looks good. I'm gonna put it in A tier. A for anomaly, you could say. Next Dreadbear character is going to be Grim Foxy, which I'm also gonna put into A tier. He's got a lot of really cool detailing here. I really like the fire they have coming out of him. We haven't gotten a Grim Foxy piece of merch like that because we got the McFarlane set, which didn't really have any fire on him, and then we also got the Funko action figure, which didn't have any fire. This has got fire all over him. I think they did a great job with it. Then there's Dreadbear. This one I'm actually gonna put into B tier purely because of the color. He's got good detailing. It's very accurate to Dreadbear in game. He's got a nice pose, you know, like a Frankenstein walking. Like a Frankenstein walking, or Frankenstein's monster, whatever you want to say. I think it looks good, but the color is completely wrong. Dreadbear should be like a dark green, maybe even a brownish color. This guy is like a bright minty color, which is what Funko did. I don't know why brands are making him this color. They both made great figures for Dreadbear. Completely the wrong color though, so I'm gonna put it to B tier. And then the last figure on the list is the glow-in-the-dark Chase version of Dreadbear. It seems to be exactly the same as normal Dreadbear, except he glows in the dark. So I'm actually gonna move this down to D tier. It's a 1 in 6, which is unfortunate to do with a Youtooz figure because they're $30, so if you want to guarantee having this guy, I think you've got to buy 6 of them. I don't even know if that guarantees it or not. That's not fun. I don't know if that should affect my ranking at all or not, but it's also just a recolor. There's not anything different about him. He's just glow in the dark. So I don't like that. So I'm going to put him down to D tier. So yeah, there's my ranking of all of the Youtooz FNaF figures so far. I think it's a pretty decent list. I'm very confident about my S tier. Maybe some of the A tier or B tier stuff could be switched around. Maybe some D tier stuff could go up or down. But generally, I do think this is my thoughts on the figures. So let me know what you think about it in the comments. And, you know, if you want to make your list of your own, you can do that. This is a public tier list I made, completely updated. The only thing it doesn't have is, I guess, like the Ruined Glamrock Chica figure, which I didn't do since it's not out yet. And we don't even know what the 3D version looks like, so I don't think I can rank that yet. But yeah, so that is the end of the video. So if you want to subscribe, you can click the button on top of my head. If you want to watch one of my last tier list videos, you can click that button over there. And if you want to see some other video I made, you can click that button over there. And I'll see you when I do another tier list.